Hi, fifth graders. This is Mrs. Simpson again, and I'm just going to walk you through a little bit of a conversation about how to multiply decimals. In order to think about multiplying decimals, what I'd like us to do is to think about multiplying whole numbers first. If I've got a really nice number line here that I'm going to show multiplying whole numbers 2 times 7, so two groups of 7. So two groups of 7 equals something, and I know that you know that it's 14, but I'm going to show you how we might show that on the number line. So each of these represents a whole number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So one group of 7 would lead us right here. So we've added 7 there. And if we add 7 more, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that will take us all the way over to here. Now I'm looking at that, and this puts us at 14, which is true. 2 times 7 is 14. So we did two equal-sized jumps of 7. So now let's think about how that might look if we were trying to multiply 2 times 7/10. And you can also think about that as 2 times 7/10. That's how it would be written as a fraction. So 2 times 7/10 on a number line would look something like this. I've broken this number line up into tenths, and so I'm going to start counting tenths. 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10, 5/10, 6/10, 7/10. So that jump on this particular number line is a 7/10 jump. Now I'm going to add another jump of 7/10. 1, 2, 3, 4/10, 5/10, 6/10, 7/10. And there I am right here. So that's another jump of 7/10. Where does that land us? Well, it's after one whole and 4 more tenths. So we are at 1 4/10. Now I think you're going to notice something similar between those two answers. The 1 and the 4 are still there, but the decimal point is in a different place. I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at my problem, and I noticed that when I multiplied by tenths, I ended up with tenths in my answer. Let's take a look at what this would look like if we were multiplying two groups of 7/100. Now, hundreds are really tiny. They're even smaller. I'm going to try to do them on this same number line so that you can see the difference in size. 7/100 is so tiny, it's going to be in here, and that jump is going to look like this. That is plus 7/100. And if I add a second jump of 7/100, it's going to put it, right here. And so 7/100 plus 7/100, again, I can think of that as 2 times 7/100. Addition, it would look like this. 7/100 plus 7/100 equals 14/100. And if we were writing that in decimal notation, it would look like this. So again, you can see that the answer, we have hundreds in this answer, and we have hundreds in one of the factors. The 1 and the 4 are still there in all of these. It's just how big we are multiplying this by that will tell us how big or how small the answer will be. 14/100 is very tiny. 14 wholes is pretty big. So let's try that again with another problem. Let's think about two groups of, 25 groups of 5/10, or 25 times 1/2. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to think about how big is this answer going to be. I know that if I multiplied 25 times 5 using an open array, I would get 5 times 5 is 25. So my answer would be 125. But I'm not multiplying this by 5 wholes. Sorry, I just made sure that I didn't get that in there. There's my open array. So I know I'm not multiplying 25 times 5 wholes. I'm multiplying 25 times half. So I think that my answer is going to be less than 25. So I'm going to ask you, do you think my answer will be 125? Will it be 12 and 5/10? Or will it be 1 and 25/100? Where will the decimal go? Pause for just a moment on the video and think about that. And when you're ready with your answer, come back. If you've come back now, here's how I'm going to reason through this. I don't think it's 125 because that's what we figured out if that 5 was a whole number, so that is way too big. 25 times half, if I started counting by halves, 5/10, 10/10, 15/10, 20/10, I know that I'm already past one whole, so that is way too small. So I'm going to say that 12 and 5/10 is the answer. And if I look at this, I can see that there are tenths here and there are tenths here. So I am pretty sure, because of my reasoning, that my answer is 12 and 5/10. Now your work today looks just like this. You will have an equation and then 3 possible answers. Use your reasoning to decide which one it is. You can always start by multiplying as if they are whole numbers and then use your reasoning to figure out how big the answer is. Good luck.